Sorry about that. I was muted and I didn't realize I was still muted. But hello, welcome. Give me one moment. I'm a little out of breath at the moment. um, I had to climb under my desk just now to plug in the lamp for the apartment because I had a friend come over the weekend and they need a plug for their laptop. And the only extension cable I had available for them was the one that runs to my lamp. Okay, so give me a moment. There's no real plan tonight. We're just going to be chilling in Blender, so we're going to be making some stuff here. So give me a second just to get stuff prepared. I'm gonna make sure too we have an extra or a safe window open so we're not like having anything on screen that doesn't need to be on screen. So give me a second there. Okay. I just rendered out this image and where to go. It is somewhere in this folder where the images go. Oh, here it is. No plan tonight. Just blend in. Just blending in, chillin'. Okay. No plan tonight. Just blend in, chillin'. We'll put live at https://twitch.tv. I might eventually change my URLs, but I'm just lazy as fuck. So we'll see how that works out for me. As native host, we'll click on Discord, and then we'll be good to go. Make sure that link copies correctly. So awesome. And technically, we're also live on YouTube, but I'm not really advertising to YouTube just yet because I have plans that I want to do for it, and those plans are not yet ready. So I haven't really talked about the YouTube much because I haven't actually put any content on there. But soon we will have some content. We're also going to have an asset store open soon. So we'll have an asset store and some other cool stuff coming up. But yeah, we're going to just chill in Blender. So I'm just trying to make sure all of my windows are like positioned properly real quick. Because one thing that is like a little bit of a problem with my current setup is I use an ultra-wide monitor. And with the ultra-wide monitor, with OBS, you can't just like section off a portion of the screen. It like captures the whole screen, and then I have to crop the screen in order to capture what I want. I might buy a new monitor in the coming months. I'm thinking like probably Cyber Week, like maybe not Black Friday or Cyber Monday themselves, but like the week of Cyber Week. I'm thinking of going to Micro Center and seeing if I can get a good deal on like a 1080p monitor, or ideally another 1440p monitor. Ideally would be nice. But that's something I'm considering doing. But anyways, yeah, let's hop into Blender here real quick. Studio mode on OBS. We'll go studio mode. I think I also need to reset my tracking. My tracking's like all off to the side right now. That's another thing I need to get too. Is I need to get a new webcam. My tracking setup usually uses 2 webcams, and one of those webcams broke, so now I'm down to a single webcam, which is really annoying. Okay, I'm just gonna transition here. We might need to move some stuff out of the way here. I need to move myself over to the other side. So we're gonna move over here so that way you guys can see the modifiers panel and all that on the far right. I'm also gonna hide my rings. We don't need the rings visible right now, so we're gonna get rid of those and just hide them for the time being. So I'm gonna go ahead and just make sure those are like properly hidden. Expressions, ring toggle, enter, and then I guess we can also turn off the tail. I don't think the tail is gonna be visible anyways right now. Hi, morning. I need to sleep before the morning, maybe. But good morning, nice to see you here. I don't have like a full plan at the moment, so we're just gonna take things like a little bit at a time and try to figure out what to even do tonight. So we're gonna be working on something. I don't know what we're gonna be working on yet, but we're gonna be working on something. We'll probably just be digging around and Blender this whole time, to be honest. I'm going to take our overlay here, radio overlay. And one that's supposed to be like up at the top. Radio overlay is supposed to be like the highest thing anyways. But I'm probably, it's loud. Okay, I will. Fuck, why did the chat just like embed into that shit weirdly? What the hell? It could also be that my voice is quiet. So hold on, give me a second here. I'll try to figure shit out. Okay, why did this just like do that? Whatever. Alright, I'm dragging the audio a bit low. Let's see here. And no, I'm actually like, my audio of my mic should be fine. It should be, because it looks like it is like hitting at that like peaking range where I normally want it to be. But I did drag the audio of the music down just a little bit as well. It sounds great now? Awesome, good to know. Okay, so as I was saying though, I'm actually gonna hide the like little window here because as cool as it is, it's kind of like in the way at the moment. So I need to figure out like a better, more, I need to make a more compact visualizer. I think I need to make one that's more compact. So in the meantime, we can just like hide it, I guess. We'll just get rid of it for now. Yeah, so like I was saying, I don't really have a solid plan for tonight. I just kind of wanted to like make more stuff. So I've been asking on like on what's it called, Twitter. I've been asking on Twitter for like ideas for stuff we can make that people want. And so far we've had a few good submissions. One submissions was glow sticks, so I did make some glow sticks. These will become available soon. So these can just attach directly to a model, and you can see here they kind of are just like this tiny little thing here. It doesn't really look all that good in this view, but if I go over here to rendered view, well, now we have our proper thing. You see here, I even went through the trouble, well, not through the trouble, I even went and I did the little like transparent connector. Because if you actually look at those like little glow stick rings, they have this little transparent or translucent connector that they slide into. I need to make a couple more of these. So this one is sized for the wrist. I want to make a couple more that are bigger, so that way you can use them for like a necklace. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing like a whole set of these. You can change the color of them. You can even change the material. So you can change the color. I believe this one is currently set to be using a image. Yeah, so this one's set to be using a PNG image that you can change in the folder. And if you just simply recolor that PNG that's included, or that's going to be included with the pack, then it'll change the color of the glow stick. I wanted it to be easy for people to use in software like VRM posing, so that's why I decided to do it that way. So that way, all you need to do, because VRM posing doesn't support blend shapes of materials for props, same for Arudo. They don't support the whole blend shape with materials thing for props, only for like technically characters. So I figured the next best solution is just to give you guys a glowstick.png, and then with that glowstick.png, you guys can alter the colors of the glow sticks. But let's say we didn't want the PNG, right? If we don't want that PNG, we can just disconnect the PNG. And you'd have to make sure that your emissive is also disconnected as well. But if you disconnect the emissive value, then you can recolor this however you want. I'm actually going to make this a little bit easier to recolor, so just give me a second just to go to here. Should be why is it not letting me copy it as a driver? Should be copy as new driver, and it's not letting me do it. That's so weird. Huh. I wonder if it's like only like certain values can be copied as drivers. Maybe that's probably what the case is. But anyways, if we were to like change the color, say you want blue, bring this over here to blue, you have to also change the emissive on it, but now you have like a blue glow stick. So like I said, you can do it either this way, just like the ideal way of doing it, but you can also use the PNG that'll be included to change the color using the PNG for it. And like I said, I do need to make bigger ones, so this is just like the first one. There's going to be a bigger one that is going to be just like a big old necklace. And then I might also do one that is bendy. I'm thinking doing one with some bendy bones in it, so that way if you wanted to like have your model bending them or snapping them or whatever, then you'd be able to do that as well. So it's going to be a full pack for them. And also included in the pack that I'm going to be releasing soon is going to be these, the Japanese idol style glow sticks. So these you would normally see at like Japanese concerts, and with all of your idols. This one has an image here that is going to be like, an image, like a little paper wrap kind of thing, and it lights up. Or again, if you don't want to use the paper wrap, you can just disconnect this. Well, actually, it'll be disconnected. It'll come in like both. It doesn't look sus at all. Shush. Just shush. I know exactly what you're thinking. We have made some of those as well. But yeah, so you normally see these at like Miku concerts, like Hatsune Miku or Idol Master or some sort of other like idol event, Love Live as well. So these are also going to be included in that pack in both single color and textured versions for people who want those. So I am asking for more ideas on Twitter. So just if you have an idea, respond to my tweet thread and I'll see what I can do about making it, because I like making stuff. Trying to remember what this one here was. Untitled.blend is very sus of a name. And then there's definitely one here that I cannot show. Oh, this is just a straight up box. Okay. I don't know why we just have a straight up box here, but we just have a straight up box here. Is this box subdivided? It is not subdivided. Okay. So I'm just gonna start from fresh. So we'll just start completely fresh. We have a default cube here. Again, I have no clue what we're gonna be making tonight, so we'll figure something out. No, let me pull up Opera here real quick. Where is Opera browser? And I'm just gonna like randomly pick some ideas out of the stuff. But I want to make some like props that are gonna be like functional props that people can use. So let's figure out some stuff that we can use. And also, why is my tracking like all the way down there? My webcam is like falling, or not falling, but it's like not staying in position, and it needs to stay in position to behave. Okay, and then for hydration tonight, I have homemade soda, sort of. I have a like soda stream kind of machine, and I love it because I can make my own like flavored sodas out of water and just some syrup and stuff. It's really nice. So I've been making like my own caffeinated drinks. Although to be honest, to be fair, the carbonation is probably not good for my voice, but whatever. Here, I'm going to type in some stuff onto Google, and then we'll come up with some ideas for what we can do. Something simple and basic tonight. Maybe. Actually, you know what? Here, we can do this. I got an idea for a prop we can do. And I'm sure some VTubers would absolutely love to use something like this in some of their like memes and stuff. Maybe not, because I feel like this is gonna be a game that like not many people play anymore. But we'll see. So we'll see here. We'll figure this out. But anyways, what we're going to do is let's start off by altering our cube. We're gonna break our cube up into a bunch of shapes. We'll probably actually use more than one cube for this tonight, so that's a thing, you know. Probably just use more than one cube. So what I like to do is I like to go into my edit mode here. I like to grab a face, and you just grab face and then hit G on your keyboard and then hit Z, and that locks the movement. It makes it so much easier to like resize things and move things around when you lock the axis of movement, because then it cannot move on any sort of like other plane. So I always it's either like when you move it, you're gonna hit G, and then Z will lock it up and down, X will lock it to the X axis, and then Y will lock it up to like this direction. We're gonna just go out this way. Actually, before I do that, I want to mirror it. Oop, wrong button. And then also we need to drag this one out. I'm thinking like one more square out. So keep in mind, each square here is supposed to be a meter in size. It's not quite accurate, but it's supposed to be like a meter in size. So this might seem like a little big, and if we need to, we can check later and scale things down. But what I think we're gonna do tonight is we're gonna make a fun little prop here for VTubers to use. That's going to be based on one of my favorite arcade games that took a shit ton of my life when I was younger. So, if you've ever heard of Dance Dance Revolution or Step Mania, that's what we're going to be doing tonight, is making one of those machines. So I'm going to grab only these two faces here, and then we're going to use the bevel tool, so Control B, and it should allow you to bevel them in. For whatever reason, it's not. There it goes. So, we could do pinball also, and I'm a huge fan of pinball. Actually, one of the projects I want to work on, I have not started working on this yet, but one of the things I actually want to work on is I want to do a 3D model recreation of 3D Space Cadet pinball. I'm not sure how we're going to do that, because I kind of want to make it interactive in a way. The problem is, I don't want to be using Unity that much anymore, so I would like to ideally swap over to like Godot engine. So I don't know, like, I don't know how to do a pinball machine in Godot yet, but I want to do like an actual full recreation of the Space Cadet 3D pinball, because I just think that'd be absolutely cool to do. Okay, so let's see here. So I think this actually needs to be a little bit lower. This feels a little bit off to me. Maybe about there. About there is probably a little bit better. All right. Now we need to figure out here where we're gonna place our stuff. So what I want to do, actually, let's go ahead and we're gonna do the usual thing that we always do here, or tend to do. I just realized there's a new option here, VRM animation draft. Now that's going to be fun to play with. I have not played with VRM 1.0 yet, so VRM 1.0 is new, and it's got a bunch of really cool new features, so I would like to play with it at some point in the near future. So we'll just see what ends up coming out of that. So I'm going to grab my current model here real quick. It should be this one here, tutorial. And we're just going to use my model for scale here. So it's going to take a moment to load me in. My model is pretty damn big in size, unfortunately. I'm kind of scared to see just how big my model is. But my VTuber model is a lot bigger in file size than it needs to be. A lot bigger in size than it should be. So, yeah, I'm kind of curious. How big is my model actually? I'm gonna go here to September 2023 pilot tutorial, and then it should be, file is this. Oh, it's not that bad. I thought it was gonna be worse, to be honest. It's only 126 megabytes. I thought it was gonna be a lot worse than that. So it's not as bad as I was thinking. Okay, anyways, so here's my model for scale. So what I want to do is I'm actually going to shift her over. So first things first, we're gonna make a new collection here we're gonna label this collection Emily. For real though, for real, like 2B's ass is insanely detailed. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to grab my model here. I'm going to select objects. And we're going to shift me over, I don't know, maybe about here. And then we're going to duplicate the collection. And then select objects and shift this other one about here. This is going to give us our scale that we need to work with to get this model done properly. And actually, I'm going to select objects and then, oh, I need to highlight both. Select objects. And I'm just going to bring this up just a little bit. I think that is too tall for this. So I want to grab our cube. We're going to just shorten the cube down a little bit. So hit tab. I'm going to grab only this top face. Bring that down. I don't know, maybe about there. And then we need to bring this in. And you can just use the mirror tool. Should be able to use the mirror tool and do it on both sides. So I'm actually thinking probably about there. It's going to be the appropriate sizing. We could maybe get a little bit more accurate here if we wanted to. We can maybe, I don't know, probably about there. It doesn't have to be 100% spot on, just as long as it like works and looks decent. So we have this here. We're going to need to do some insetting of faces. So let's go ahead and grab this top one, hit I. And then we'll drag this down, I don't know, maybe... I like to use even numbers, so we'll go just like, what, 1.5? We'll see how 1.5 looks. Okay, so that looks fine to me. Okay, so we have that there. And the reason for this is because I'm going to actually split this into two. Actually, it's going to be split into 4 parts here. We'll start adding in our little squares, and then we'll add our actual like arcade cabinet over here on this side. Then there is 2 bars, usually 2 bars, sometimes 1 bar, but there's like a little bar that's going to go up and around on this side. And I think actually for that bar, we can actually use a really cool trick that I like to use for us. So we're going to do the bar first, okay? So first things first here, grab a cylinder, and we're going to, first off, we can bring this down quite a bit, because I want to keep it kind of well optimized. I think 16 vertices will be fine, especially because if we do tune shading, no one's going to fucking notice shit anyways when you do tune shading. So that's kind of like one little benefit of doing simple color shading versus like super detailed texturing, is you can get away with a lot of detail that you are not putting there because you're not having to paint all those extra details. For the radius, 0.01 might be a little too small. We'll see. Yeah, that's too small. 0.05, we're going to give that a try. And now that's too thick, so maybe 0.025, and that looks about perfect. Cool. Now for the depth here, we can just go with a single meter of depth. And then we'll drag it up. We'll find our place for it, probably right about there. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn on our wireframe here, so we can find like a placement for this that is going to be where we want it to be placed. I'm going to drag that up. Now this might be a little too tall, and that's fine. We're going to bend it here in a moment anyways. So if we do think it's too tall, you would just go and select, you go into your edit mode, select the face here, bring it down however much you need. Now keep in mind though, my model is exceptionally short, so we have a pretty short model. I'm actually gonna scale it up just a little bit too, and then bring it up. But my model is really short compared to like other models, so that's another thing to keep in mind as well, is that we are tiny people. I'm gonna select objects and just drop us down right on top of it so we can get a better idea of our sense of scale here. And I like to use the like orthographic view for that because you can better place yourself using orthographic. So same thing here on this one. We can actually just copy like the transform directly, but I'm lazy, so we're just going to just grab it and bring me up. I don't know about there. What I probably should do actually for the second one is use a taller model, so that way we have a better scale reference using the taller model. Because again, my model is 4'8" or 142 centimeters, which is pretty short. So probably actually better off using one of the older models here in place. So that way we have like a frame of reference for a taller character, for how a taller character will look standing on top of this thing. In the meantime though, I'm going to grab our little bar, bring it up. And actually, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to delete this hierarchy here. And yeah, we'll just do another model here real quick. So we're going to import another character. I gotta go to concept art. It was under final. At June 2023. And which model was it? Oh, this one's in the dress. We'll go with this one. Let's give it a moment here to load. And this other model here is 5 foot exact, so still pretty short, but not as short. You know, though she's 153 centimeters tall, so a little bit taller, a little bit more like representative. I don't know the fucking English word, but a bit better of a representation of like an average woman. Average woman's height. Wrong button. I did not mean to do that. Alright, no, that's what I wanted, yeah. So we're just gonna enable this one. Chiyu. Drag those colliders in there. I'm gonna grab our hierarchy and just drag the whole hierarchy in there. It's important that you select the whole hierarchy and not just like only the top layer, because otherwise when you go to move it, it's just gonna move only to one object and everything else will end up getting stuck in place. Now that we have this model here though, we can just come over here to the side and drag up and then place however we need to place to get our sense of scale. So yeah, again, my model's pretty short. This other one here is a little bit better, better oriented. You had the best and worst idea to make your height your prime number, thus your character is 149 cm. And your bot's character is 151. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like odd heights are like annoying to me. I try to go for like even heights personally. Real quick, I'm just gonna split this mesh here down the center. That way we can better see what I was looking for with it. Except it didn't give me the option of doing that edge loop. I think because we already cut stuff in, so it's not gonna let me just do like a full edge loop there. I don't know, Blender is fucking weird sometimes when it comes to like your meshes and cutting loops and stuff into them. An easy, simple fix is just going to be to use the knife tool. And there we go. So now we have that cut up. Those are prime heights, what can be better than prime? I mean, true. That is so true. Okay, so the reason why I wanted to do that is that way I have a frame of reference for where this bar is going to end up at. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take this bar here, we're actually going to have it mirrored onto this other side. Or not really mirrored, but duplicated. if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna do that ahead of time. We'll just use the array modifier for it, and we're gonna set this to a constant offset. And yeah, the constant offset is 1 meter. And look at that, it's already 1 meter over. So anything we do on this one, it's gonna automatically transfer to the other one. It's gonna make it a lot easier for us to design this with symmetry in mind, at least. So we can go back into our edit mode, and we're gonna select this face. I feel like we are still a little too tall, so we'll go ahead and fix the height problem. Thinking probably about here. Looking at Chisame's face here, kind of like lined up there. We could use the precision tools to be more precise, but I think that'll be fine as it is. I'm gonna grab this face again, and we're going to delete only the face. So we want to delete our face. That's gonna leave this open, which is fine. Now we're going to go to our vertices selection tool and select this one single vertice here. We need to put our we need to move our cursor to that vertice. So real quick, I'm just gonna find wherever it was to bring the cursor to it, to try to remember what the button was. It's gonna be view. Well, here's some of our cursor settings. I'm tired, guys. I need to get some sleep at some point. What's sleep though, right? I'm very bad at like actually getting any sort of like tangible sleep. Okay, anyways, so I have this vertice selected, and we just need to move our cursor over to that spot. Give me a second here. I need to have my caffeine, so I'm trying to wake up. Okay, I'm trying to wake up. It's not easy, but I am trying to wake up. I think it was like what, Shift S? Yeah, here it is, Shift S. So cursor to selected. That's gonna bring our cursor right here. So now that our cursor is right there, we can select the entire ring here. It's gonna hold down Alt and click on this little ring. So just click on the edge right there, and it's going to select that whole ring. What we're going to do is put our little view here, and here's a neat little trick that I learned recently. I think it's a really cool way of doing this for pipes. Is we can go over here to our spin button. Make sure you have the correct axis for spin. In this case, it's going to be the y-axis. And then make sure to that our pivot point is set to 3D cursor. So now, when we bring this out here, we can do -90 degrees, and it's going to automatically spin that in the way that we want it to. And we can reduce the number of steps, obviously, because it does not need to be, again, we're making it as optimized as we can. It doesn't need to be a million fucking polygons. Tits don't work. Tits, I mean, my tits bounce. My bouncy tits are working. The throwing stuff should be working too. If you're trying to throw stuff at me, that should be toggled on. Oh, I don't use it because Twitch integrated that version. That thing specifically is only for live 2D. That is not for 3D. Marudo does have it, and it should be enabled. Hold up. Yeah, I'll get to see the back end here real quick of my model, because all the back end stuff for the model. My hotkeys should be here. Hotkeys, it does fit the name, yes. So these are all the toggles here. And I'm pretty sure we had one for throwing stuff at me. here, that's all the colors. I'm pretty sure we had set it up with the redeems for throwing stuff at me. Because I remember making it, or setting it up here. Yeah, so it should be here. Prop source, Arctic Fox, launch sound, character. It's supposed to be launching at me. Ow. So it should be working. I don't know why it's not working unless, like, did the names of the redeems get changed somehow? Because it should just be throw something at my face is the name of the redeem. So, unless I was dumb and I had done something on Twitch. Hold up. Twitch.tv. Creator dashboard. Viewer rewards. Channel points. Here we go. Channel points. Manage. Yeah, no, that's all enabled. That's all enabled, so it should all be working. Yeah, I don't know why it wasn't working. Because it should be working like perfectly fine. The only one that might be a little bit problematic is the throw a shit ton of stuff at my face, which is also around here somewhere. In my sea of nodes. At least I try to keep all of my nodes relatively like cleaned up. You know, I try to keep them all organized. Where is the one for throw a bunch of shit at me though? I'm not seeing that redeem. I wonder if I had disabled that one. I probably did. Yeah, because I don't see the throw a bunch of shit at me. That's sclera, plug suit, rings, chest size, eyes. Throw a lot of stuff at me. Yes. Yeah, that's the one I'm looking for here in the graphs. So, let me try redeeming it. I'm gonna try redeeming it and see if it works. If not, then I might have like accidentally deleted the nodes. Here, stream manager. Throw a lot of stuff at me, redeem. Yeah, it's not throwing a bunch of shit at me, which is weird, because it should be throwing a ton of stuff at me. So I might have accidentally like disabled that, possibly. There's hydrate. No, here's to throw a lot of stuff at me. What? Why isn't that working then? Okay, it works. It works. I don't know if it's working as a redeem, but the actual like node graph for it's working at least. So, yeah, that's weird that it's not like working as a redeem though. Throw a lot of stuff. Oh, it's got a 5-minute cooldown. We'll test it again in 5 minutes. Okay. Anyways, though, yeah, this is the back end of how everything works. Here's all the like music stuff. I have some additional key bindings that I haven't been like showing off just yet, and all kinds of other like testings and whatnot. Okay. Anyways, like I was saying, this little trick here, it works super well for getting these pipes here, for getting these like perfectly bent pipes. So it's a few extra steps than some of the other methods in terms of like how fast you can do it, but it works just so damn well for it. So now we're going to hit our E button, or not E. Make sure you just select that whole ring again. Okay, and then you can hit E. And then make sure you lock your axes however you need. But you hit E, lock the axes, and then you can move it around. Like so. And then you're just going to repeat the same thing. I'm just going to grab that one vertice down here. If I can get my camera positioned correctly. I've got this one right here. And then hold down shift button. hold down shift and an S and then cursor to selected. And that's gonna move your cursor over here. And then you just hold on alt, click on the ring, and then go back to your spin button. And you just set it to 90 degrees. And there you go. You have a perfect 90-degree bend out of that. Make sure that ring is selected. You can hold down, hit E, and then Z, and then that'll extrude it down. Make sure you're not like extruding in negative space. But yeah, so again, if you just hold down, hit E, and then Z, you can bring that all the way down, however you need. And if you don't get it all the way down right away, that's fine. You know, just position yourself however you need to be positioned. And then you can just hit G and then Z, and then bring it down to right about there. And you might want to like fill it in. You don't have to fill it in, but if you want to fill it in, just hit F, and then you can have that be filled in. So that way it's, you know, filled in on both sides. But I'm actually just going to undo that, and I'm going to grab it on this side. So I'm going to hold down Alt and Z. And I think I'm actually going to delete this face down here at the bottom as well. So we'll delete this face. And then that way we can just like merge it directly onto here. Without having like, I don't know, because I just don't want it to like be like clipping through and having other like issues because of that, you know? So when you're ready again, just select that whole thing. And you can even use this little X-ray tool, the X-ray mode, to kind of help better gauge where you're moving it. Again, I'm trying not to clip through, but be just touching, you know, just barely enough touching. Right down there. Okay, right there should be fine. So there we go. Now we have those little dance bars there for DDR. Again, just remember my characters are a little short because I like to make short little petite characters. I'm not really a big fan of making bigger characters myself. Not to say that you can't appreciate bigger characters, because I definitely do appreciate a lot of bigger characters. It's just I personally feel more comfortable in a smaller skin, so I use really petite characters. Okay, now let's get to the rest of this here. So there's those bars now, and if we need to, we can maybe extend them out too, because I kind of feel like they might need to be extended out a little bit. So if we want to do that, you would just select it, go into edit mode, hold down Alt and Z to go into your X-ray view, and then just select everything that needs to be selected, and then hit G and X, and then you can bring it out or bring it in however you need. I don't know, maybe right there is fine. Just kind of position it however you want. There we go. So we're gonna tab out of edit mode there. Select on this thing here. Go back into edit mode. And yeah, it's not gonna let me do like a clean cut through the middle here, which is kind of dumb. But what I'm gonna do instead is we'll just do it by hand. So I was going to find the center here. If we hold down shift, it should snap directly to the center. Now I don't want it to do that, because see what it's doing there is it's not splitting these evenly. So it should be going you know, straight across, right? But instead it snaps to the center here, and I kind of don't want that. But that's a pretty easy fix, just grabbing that one thing and then hitting G. In fact, I think you can just hit G twice. I think if you hit G twice, it'll slide it. Yeah, it slides it around. And then you can, you know, adjust your precision however you need. So I want it ideally to be as, like, perfectly aligned as possible. But as just eyeballing it, I think it's fine. So reason we're doing this is that way we can separate out where the gamepad is going to be versus the cabinet. And actually here, we actually have an easier way of doing this, I think. Let's just highlight all of these. And we'll just drag this whole thing in. I don't know, maybe there. This will be our playmat area, our dance pad area. Which might need to be a little bit wider, thinking about it. I think it needs to possibly be a bit wider. Yeah, let's see here. Are we mirrored? We are mirrored. Okay. I don't know, maybe like about right there. Now, what we could do is we can do this as just like a solid texture, but I kind of want to do it as like actually like detailed dance pads. So if you want to make it as just a single texture, it's pretty easy to do. What we would do for that would be select like this face here, and then we're going to go over here to UV, and we're going to do mark seam. And then when you go to your UV editor, you go over here to UV editing, you would then have just like one little area here, and it'll separate that out. So if you do like a full unwrap, so if I like grab everything and I do like a full UV unwrap, it's gonna give me that one face separately. So you do kind of have to like learn to mark all of your seams where you want them, so that way you don't end up like putting them in like a wrong spot kind of thing. But then you would just do your texture. You just do your texture like normal at that point. I want to go back to layout. I'm actually thinking this needs to probably be, well, maybe right there. And then this can maybe be like 1.5 or something. 1.3? 3 maybe? I feel like that is still off. Okay, so there's that. Now, for those little spots there, what I'm thinking of doing here is I'm going to go into our edit mode. And we're just going to extrude these both. Just hit E, and then hit Z, and we'll bring them down just a tiny bit, not a whole lot, but we'll bring them down. And then we also need them to be, you know, separated out. So actually, before we do that, we need to separate these out. We need to put like a little tiny gap between them. And I'm just gonna do that like this. Just using the little bevel tool to bring that gap out. And one segment is completely fine. You actually want it to be triangulated anyways, so one segment's fine. And it's just a matter of figuring out how wide does it need to be, so that way it doesn't like impact like the gameplay and whatnot. I mean, granted, no real person's gonna actually be playing on this because this is all gonna be a virtual prop. but we do want to have like a little bit of a gap between them, so that way it's not an unfair like advantage to one of the players. I feel like that much gap should be fine, and then we just need to move. I just need to move these things a little bit further out of the way, or maybe not even out of the way. I think with those. Yeah, we can just drag it out like that. Maybe a little bit more. Oh, maybe about there. Probably do need to actually extend this out ever so slightly. There we go. Okay, but yeah, so now that that is all split up, first off, I'm gonna hit Control A, Control E, and I'm going to clear my seams for now. And then we can extrude these just a little bit down. And then, like I said, I probably will just do just like a straight up texture here. So we can do that real quick. We can just do a texture. So if we want to just do a texture of what we have so far, the easy way of doing that is going to be to select everything by just hitting A. And then you want to go, actually you have to be in edit mode. So make sure you're in edit mode. But select all by hitting A. And you can just, clear selection if you need to, and then just hit A, make sure that what you need is selected. And then go to edges. And it's going to be, actually, that's the wrong way of doing this, I think. Yeah, it's probably the wrong way of doing it. Select none. Select, here it is, select sharp edges. So you want to do this one, select sharp edges, and then you're going to mark it as a seam. And that's going to automatically mark all of those like sharp points. You might want to, do a little bit here and there. So like maybe you want to get rid of the seams right here. So maybe you don't want these inner parts to be having custom seams. So just hold down shift and select the ones that you don't want to be part of those seams. And then you can do shift and E, or not shift and E, it's gonna be control E, and then you can just clear the seam. And then like same down here, just make sure the ones that you want selected are what's being highlighted. So if you don't want like these top side ones to be part of that seam, then you need to clear those. So you might do is like highlight here, control E, and then clear seam. And that's gonna get rid of that seam. So let's make sure you're trying to keep it a little bit clean as if you can. And just do some cleanup. It's easier if you do like the cleanup in real time than if you try to come back and do all the cleanup afterwards. Then it becomes a total pain in the rear, to deal with. Just go ahead and get rid of those seams. And same for this one. Oh, wrong button. Make sure you're clicking on the correct button when you are selecting stuff. And we'll also need to do the same thing on this side too. We also got all these ones here that can be removed from the seam as well. Basically, like, not every edge needs to have a seam is the main thing. Not every single edge that you have is gonna need a seam. Only the ones that you need or absolutely, the only ones that you want to or have an absolute need to optimize are when you need to mark your seams for every single little thing. And sometimes it doesn't clear the seams, like right there, it didn't clear them. So you might have to do that again and just make sure it's being cleared. Now, if you notice here, we are missing a couple of the seams now. So that's an easy fix. All you gotta do is just highlight the edges that you screwed up, and then Control E, and then mark a seam. And those will now be marked again as a seam for the model. Okay, so that's all good there. And keep in mind, this is actually backwards. Our character models are facing the wrong direction, so they should be the other direction around. Looks like I missed a spot here. So yeah, I missed these little spots right here. Into the thigh. It's like Miss Frizzle, but not as quirky, I guess. Maybe a little bit more quirky, I don't know. Okay, so those are now going to be, what's called, marked off. So now if you go over here to your UV painting, you can now unwrap the whole thing. And you can see here, it now went from being that huge mess of vertices, it went from being a total, complete mess to being a much cleaner output. And we can still tweak this a little bit further to be an even better UV map. So you might end up finding yourself, you have such a bad idea for an emote. Oh no, what's the idea? I'm always down for bad emote ideas. So I kind of like this here, but I feel like the islands are too close to the edge. So what I'm going to do is we're going to pack these islands in. Nope, that's not what I want. That was the wrong button. Absolutely not suitable for Twitch. Oh, I mean, kind of fun then if it's not suitable for Twitch. And we can adjust the margin here. If we want to adjust these, we can just adjust the margin to kind of get it off the edge. I don't like having my models be directly on the edge of the UV map. So I feel like it's best if you have a little bit of separation. There we go. And really, technically don't need all these little like boxes here, but we'll just leave them as it is. What those are coming from is these little like corners here, I think. I'm not really sure. I think I missed a spot when I was trying to clear the seams earlier. I think I probably missed a spot, but it's fine. But yeah, so this is now our UV map. So now what I want to do too is I'm just going to grab this one here. And we're going to flip it on the y-axis. So that way it's going to be exactly the same back and forth. Makes it a lot easier for us to just texture it this way. And you can even, just grab the face here and just kind of double check which face it is. So this one's actually on the right side. This one's going to be on the left side. So let's actually grab both of these, and I'm going to flip both of these over. So we're just going to grab both of these here. We're going to flip them over. So mirror y-axis. And this one we're going to mirror on the x-axis. If I can find where my button went. Here it is. And in that way, that'll make a lot more logical sense when we go to actually edit our image in Photoshop. So now we have this here. We can just export the UV layout. And I'm going to put this in props. We're going to make a new folder called PDR cabinet. And we're just going to label this matte base _ UV. And by default, it's going to be 1024 by 1024. We can actually push this a little bit higher. I like to do 2048 by 2048. We could go as high as 4096 by 4096. Just make sure that your aspect ratio stays fairly even if you're, whatever you're doing with it. But I think that'll be fine there. And I'll actually set this to fill opacity of 0.5 just to make it a little bit easier for me when I go into Photoshop here in a moment. Actually, we're going to be using Figma for this, which is even better than Photoshop. So, well, subjectively, but that's a different story for another time. Anyways, though, create a new design file. And we're going to go over here to our props folder. And the DDR cabinet. So I have the UV map right here. Our UV map is taking up all this space here. Good thing wallpaper was not too sus. Yeah, luckily. Not like it would matter too much. I mean, it probably would matter, but it wouldn't matter too much, hopefully. Okay, so we can apply a frame. And unlike yours. I mean, kind of curious, but at the same time, kind of not. Let's see here. Okay, so again, this is our UV map, but we want to paint over the UV map for it. So, pretty simple. Yours is a collab animated wallpaper of the friend, just a little bit sus. Aw, but see, like, that's cute, even if it's sus. That just makes the susness even cuter, because it's, like, done with a friend, right? So I'm just going to drag some polygons out here. And we will probably need to, you know, drag these around however we need. But it's going to be our base vector. And then we're going to, you know, copy and paste it, duplicate it, whatever we want to call it. We're going to duplicate it, bring it over here to this side. And then we're just going to flip it to the other direction. So flip it horizontally. So these are now editable. I'm actually going to lock them, but those are now editable. And now we can get to, you know, adding our actual squares in them. So actually, there's probably a better way. There is a better way of doing this. Better way of doing this is going to be using components for it. Components are a little bit of a pain in the ass to do, but if you were to come here and you were to say group selection, and then you can convert the group into a component by making it a component. You can then have an instance of that component. So if I wanted to do an instance of it, I'm trying to remember the exact fucking button for it. I don't think it was as simple as just Control and V. You had to like, oh, I guess it is as simple as just Control and V. But now we can line this up however we need. And flip that again, the direction that is needed to be flipped. Make sure our stuff is lining up. Go. So I believe now, because that's now a component, all we need to do is just edit this one here. So we can now grab some squares. We're going to give the square like color. There you go. You can see here that's already shown up on both ends right there. And we want to make this an even square. So I'm thinking 350 on both sides. 250 for both height and width. Place this, I don't know, dead center. Copy it again. Bring it down here, dead center. We'll do some adjustment to these to make sure that they are of equal distance, because for Dance Dance Revolution, they're going to need to be equal distance to be proper. So that should be equal distance among all of them. So but yeah, we're gonna need to do some adjustment here for sure. Um, we'll figure out our adjustment, but these need to be completely even. So we might need to, you know, either make them smaller, make them bigger, whatever we need to do to make them more even in size. So maybe what we need to do actually is come here, do like what, 325 or something, and then just, you know, put it dead center. And actually the best way of doing it is probably going to be to line them up like so. Actually, yeah, if we do this, that's what we want. We want them to be lined up, because you gotta go to step left, step right, step up, step down. This back here will just become like a metal texture, but these are gonna be the actual like dance buttons. And we'll add a stroke to these. Make sure they're all grouped up here. All these are gonna get a stroke. But like 10 is maybe a bit much. We can go 8. 8's a little bit better maybe. And then we'll start drawing a arrow. Now luckily there's an arrow tool built into Figma, which is nice. So you just drag out your arrow. Position the arrow so that way it is in the middle of this cube. Yeah, so make sure it's in the middle of the cube. And then we can drag it out. Maybe not that far out. Kind of want this one here to be rounded as well, so make sure that's rounded. We're gonna position that however we want, and then I wish I'm gonna do a fill here. Let's try doing a fill. Yeah, it doesn't work that way because it's dumb. Yeah. Sometimes Figma is a little bit dumb and it doesn't want to work with me the way I want it to work with me. Like that 44. Oh, not 444. I said just 44, damn it. We can make this whatever color. So I think like yellow, maybe like one of the colors that's used. I haven't actually looked at a DDR mat in a very long time. But it's either like green or yellow. Let's go green for the meantime. And you can see here, again, that's already applying to both. So now we just copy and paste this, drag it down, and then just flip vertical. Copy and paste it again, drag it over here to the center here, and just rotate it by 0 degrees. And on this side here, I just do a 180 degree rotation. And now we have our dance pad buttons. Again, we'll finally tweak all the colors and stuff here in a moment, but I just wanted to get like a general like idea of what's going on here. Then we'll figure out our actual like texture, and you might do like a brushed aluminum kind of texture because that'd be kind of nice to do. For stuff like brushed aluminum, you will need Photoshop for it, but it's very easy to do a brushed aluminum look in Photoshop. So we have this here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to export this whole thing. So we can export this now. And I'm going to go to my props folder. So make sure we're in the props folder and make sure we're in the DDR cabinet folder. And we'll go matte base underscore albedo. So now if we come over here, we can have our material, assign our material to everything, make sure everything has that same material assigned. We're gonna go to base color, go to image texture, and go find our texture that we made. That's going to update everything. And just remember that we made this texture 4096 by 4096. So it's a pretty big texture file. A little excessive in terms of the detailing. Now we have our dance buttons there, and like I said, we'll do like a brushed aluminum something, probably like a brushed aluminum effect for the rest of it. But we can also add some coloring and other stuff here wherever we need. Oh, that is a really cute image. I just saw the image that you sent me on Discord, and that is fucking adorbs. Holy shit, I like that. And actually what this kind of tells me too is that this here is actually probably still too long, this direction. So I'm just gonna go into edit mode. Hold down Alt and Z. What? You're getting all flustered now? That's so fucking adorbs. I love it. And I don't know, try to like bring in here. We'll have to adjust our UV map because every time we resize this, we're gonna have to adjust the UV map, because otherwise you're gonna get these distortions in here, as you can tell, and you don't want those distortions. And those distortions are because the UVs had moved. So if we go over here to our UV editing panel and select everything again, what we need to do to make this a little bit better is select here, and I'm just going to be lazy about this and just drag it down on top like so, and then down here same thing, just hit G, drag it up, and then back over to our layout view. There we go. So I'm gonna need to do a few more adjustments to it, obviously, to make it like perfect. But we now have that part at least. And like I said, we can make these all different colors, because I think it should actually technically be different colors for each arrow should be different color, if I remember right. And then we'll do like some sort of other like fill color here. Well, both of you characters, both of you are super adorbs. That's all I'm gonna say. Both are really adorbs. Okay, so that is the start of that, at least. So we have our start. For these metal pipes, we can also kind of texture them out already as well. So we just create a new texture or new material for them. And we're gonna label this, we'll label this one. I should label the other one as well, but we'll label this one, but what's the fucking term? Barrier? Bar? I'm trying to think of like the term. Balance bar. And then we'll just do a base color for now. So let's do a simple base color, like bring it down here maybe. I'm going to drag metallic all the way up. So we have metallic going up. And then we'll leave the roughness at 50%. I think that'll be fine there. Especially being quite tall, so you might have to change your height. I mean, you don't have to change your height, you know, or just make it be that like you're a shapeshifter or something. I don't know. There's ways you can save face with it. Probably. Okay, so we are starting. So much money spent on all the art though. Mood. I feel that. But no, like, I don't know, just write in something in your lore about maybe she changes her height or something. Maybe she has like somewhat of a shape. Yeah, see? Somewhat of a shapeshifter. There you go. Just be William Dafoe now. So I'm somewhat of a scientist myself. Yeah. If we go to rendered view, and if I get rid of the wireframe here real quick, I decided to get rid of the wireframe. Or I did, okay. You can see here, the bottoms down here obviously are not shiny right now. Those are not shiny, but you'll be the first one who I reveal at this part of my role. Aww, I feel honored. But now we have these bars here, and the bars are shiny, which is what we want. Just keep in mind, I've learned recently that when it comes to VRM posing desktop specifically, if I export this as an FBX file, the shininess will not transfer over. You have to export this as a GLB or GLTF file in order for the shininess to transfer over. It's really weird and stupid. I don't know why that is the case, because it shouldn't be an issue at all. But that is just one issue that I found with VRM Posing Desktop recently, is that when I was making stuff that was shiny, if I wanted the shiny to transfer over, I had to use GLB or GLTF instead of using FBX for it. You come by and you instantly feel railed. I mean, ooh, we can make some arrangements for something like that to happen. So we can do a Fansly collab. I do want to do more collabs with people. I feel like I don't like collab with people enough. Well, I don't, because I haven't collabed with anyone in like over a year. I want to do more collabs. It has been like a super long time. My problem is I don't really talk to people. It's a problem. I'm very bad at like reaching out to people and talking to people and other stuff, and I need to like figure out a way to like fix that. But it's super hard to like, I don't know, reach out to people and talk to people. Yeah, so that's shiny now. Down here, there's a couple different ways that we could do that brushed effect. I'll show you how to do it in Photoshop, as well as how to do it here in Blender as well. If you collab with me, it'd be the ultimate in scuff cutie. That's how it should be, though. That is 100% how it should be. Okay, so now we need to make our actual cabinet. So the cabinet itself, we'll do that as a separate square. So we'll do a separate square to make the cabinet here. So we're gonna make a new cube. The cube's fine as whatever size it is. We can fix the sizing of the cube here. I want to set these like so. Bring the cube this way. Oh. Bring it up. Why is it doing that? Set up. And I just want to align it as best I can with this little base thing here that we got going on. So I'm just going to try my best to make that aligned. Probably zoom in quite a bit to make sure that we are getting it aligned. And honestly, like right here is good enough. Okay, so right here is good enough for getting it aligned, and you'll see why. Because one, we're going to make a bunch of edits to this, obviously. But also because we're going to merge them into each other really easily here. Actually, won't merge them in yet, but when we are ready to merge them in, it'll be really easy to merge these two together. If we even want them merged, we might not even want them merged together. We might just want them to be kind of close enough, but not like merged 100% together. So now we can go back to this mode here for a view. And we get to have fun with edit mode. So real quick, let's actually take a look at what some of these machines look like. I'm going to pull up Opera here. And yeah, I'm looking at some of these machines on Opera, and they are not connected. The little bar thing. Some of them have the bar or the dance pad connected, but not all of them do. So we just need to find one that has a design we like. Yeah, we can kind of do this where we have this like thing here connected. Uh, yeah. Yeah, so we'll go with that. And then we'll do the little speakers. We cut little speakers out. We can cut out the whole thing. I feel like this is going to be a little bit too simple of a design though for it. And I don't know. I used to go into like the arcade and having like these super big ass machines. Actually, let me pull up some photos real quick. Where is my phone? I don't know where my phone. Oh, here's my phone. I'm going to send myself some photos real quick because I actually took some photos the last time I went to an arcade. I took some photos of all the different like rhythm game machines. So I'm just gonna send them to myself real quick because I also want to do sound vortex. I want to make a sound vortex prop as well because I like sound vortex. It's one of my more preferred games. What if vending machine Chan became the Dance Dance Revolution? Are you suggesting that I rig this? Because I could so rig it. That's the worst part. We could so rig this. Do we want to? It's the worst part. Don't tempt me. Do not tempt me, because I will so make it happen. Imagine VTuber fucking DDR machine. No, we don't need to go there. We really don't. See, but if I keep doing that, then I'm just gonna become known as someone who makes really ridiculous VTuber models. I mean, I do. I make these really stupid VTuber models, but I don't want to be only known for making stupid VTuber models that are based on like random props. For what it would be for the machine itself, it would only take like a few minutes actually to do. So the thing is, like, making a base rig, especially for something that's not going to be moving, is really easy. Doing rigging for stuff that is going to have like rotating joints, that is a little bit more of a challenge because you have to do rate painting and that takes forever to get right. But it's not like the hardest thing to do at all. But I would do it with only textures for actually kind of like how I did Boxo. So Boxo has animated textures. I didn't actually finish Boxo yet, but Boxo has animated textures, and I was gonna do his whole like face with all the expressions. But that's entirely with textures only. You don't have to do any sort of bone rigging for that. That's right, I was supposed to send myself these photos. So give me a second here to send myself these photos real quick. I need to go to my Dropbox channel, and I'm going to send these through Discord to myself via my Dropbox channel. So those are all now sent. I need to open up Discord here on the side. Oh wow, there's a lot of noise on these photos. Oof. A lot of noise on these photos. To be fair, it was like dark in there, and I didn't like bother trying to tweak my settings, my manual settings for my camera. I just kind of ripped out the camera and took the photos. Didn't like try to like make sure they were perfect photos. New model for each day for October. Well, I'm actually trying to do that. I'm trying to do not Rigtober, but like Inktober with 3D models. That's kind of my plan, and that actually is twofold because I figured if I make a new model every day, if I do at least one prop a day, I can throw it onto Booth and populate my Booth page. They'll be basically my models will be available. I want to make my models available in at least 3 places. So my models will be available on Ko-Fi, Ko-Fi, whatever you want to call it. They'll be available on Ko-Fi like they already are, but there'll be more. They'll be available on booth.pm, which is like a Japanese marketplace that everyone, like a lot of YouTubers use booth.pm, especially if you're like a Vuvoid user. If you've used Vuvoid, you've probably bought at least one outfit off of Booth. So I want to also have a page on Booth for my models. And then the third place I'm thinking of using is either going to be Blend Market or CG Trader, or maybe do both. That makes 4 places. But I figured that way that would give me a good extra source of revenue to be able to buy more stuff to make my streams better. Like I said, I still want to buy a Love Fence at some point. I want to buy a Leap Motion, and I want the Mokopi trackers. So I figured doing this, if I do a model a day, I can put it on all 4 of those pages and then start to bring in some sales and use that money to make better content going forward. Whether that means I'm buying like plugins for Blender or I'm buying physical stuff. I also want to get a 3D printer at some point because I want to do some like 3D printing stuff. So that way, I feel like having tangible, making something in Blender is great because it looks good on screen, right? But you don't want it to always just look good on screen. It's also nice to be able to physically hold what you create, what you model. So I was like, I should get a 3D printer at some point, so that way I can make physical stuff that is actual working physical props. And I can even sell some of those as well. I do have, for example, give me one. By the way, thank you, Clover's Patch for the follow. Give me 1 second here, real quick. I'm gonna grab something, okay?
Yeah.
Where is the other camera? Now the other camera, it may or may not work, so I need to open up OBS's studio mode real quick. Live camera, and if you hear a lot of noise, I apologize. My desk is a huge mess right now, and I absolutely apologize for the mess and all the noise that you're gonna hear as I try to find where this cable is plugged in at. Okay. Meditation's over there. There. Sorry. I apologize for all that noise. I know it's a lot. Okay. OBS works best with the hammer. That is true. That is 100% true. Okay, here we go. Yeah, my desk is a huge mess at the moment. Holy crap. It's way too messy. And this camera is like falling apart, so it's not really working the best. Good enough though. Okay, channel switcher. We had camera right here. Right? Yeah. So, I build these. We built this one on stream not too long ago. We did like an 8-hour stream building this waifu here. And I was thinking too, if I do eventually get a 3D printer, I want to 3D print some replicas of my VTuber model, and we'll build them live on stream. I don't think it'll be in the form of a runner, obviously, because these are made with like resin molds. So you use like resin or injection molding to make the runners, which I know a little bit of how to do. These ones are obviously professionally done, but I would like to make either custom parts for these or just do like a full-on 3D print of my model at some point and build it live, and we can even like maybe, you know, auction it off or something at some point. But we would build it. We basically, my thought is I get a 3D printer, 3D print my VTuber model. We go through the whole process of sanding it down, putting it together, sanding it, and then painting it, all on stream. That'll be really fun because I actually have also an airbrush sitting here besides me as well. So we have like the whole airbrushing kit and everything to build all these. And I do want to build more of these on stream. I have like a few dozen of these. I keep buying more, and I don't have enough storage space for them. But I keep buying more of these because I love building them. The next one I want to build is probably going to be this one, which actually I'm thinking of painting based on my model. Because she already has, you can see here, she already has these, she has twin tails, and she has roughly my body proportions. So I'm thinking we build her and we paint her in the color scheme of my model. Is what I'm thinking at some point here. But yeah, that's why I figured if I can do a 3D model a day, if we can do a model a day in Blender, then we can take those models a day that we're doing and put them on Booth and on Ko-Fi and everything, and hopefully fund getting that 3D printer and other stuff for the stream. So, anyways, though, this is over at my local arcade. It's called Round 1. This is Sound Voltex. I actually have Sound Voltex on my computer, but I discovered recently that Konami is dumb. Not really dumb, but Konami is greedy as fuck. Arf, arf, arf. There, you got like 3. Arf. So Sound Voltex, really fun. It's a really fun rhythm game. You can actually get it for your computer, and if you have a turntable like me, you can play it with an actual turntable. You can also play D4DJ with an actual turntable. I've done that before on stream too. But with Sound Voltex, if you have the PC version of it, you have to have a subscription to Konami's arcade service, which is a little bit pricey, and you can only pay for it in yen. And you have to have that subscription to it. Otherwise, when you try to run Sound Voltex, it'll only let you play a single song. And whether you pass or fail that song, it ends the game altogether. Like the executable will straight up end. It'll close itself out at the end of the song after you go to your like credit screen or whatever. So you have to buy a subscription to it, which is stupid. But anyways, I want to do a 3D model of Sound Voltex soon. This is another one. I don't remember the exact name of this one, but I thought I had... Oh, here's Beatmania. Beatmania is really cool and fun. I guess I don't have any reference images of DDR, unfortunately. But we have this one here, so this is what we're going to go and base our model off of. I just want to find something a little bit more creative than just, like... than just this. I want something a little bit more creative than just that. So we'll find a cool little design here. Oh, this is the weird one. This is the weird one that goes diagonal. I don't like the one that goes diagonal. Sorry, I'm having a little rant here because I love these. I love rhythm games with a passion. They're like a huge passion of mine. And yeah, I don't like when it's all diagonal like that. But, you know, this might be good. I don't know, we'll figure it out. We'll figure out how we're going to design this. So anyways, though, if we come here, so let's say we did want to make that little space, right? We can make that little space, pump it up. Profile cards cost double, but has anime characters. So, yeah, that's true. I don't know how many cards I have from, like, round 1. I have, like, a whole stack of cards from different arcade machines, as well as, I have... like almost a few full decks for some of the coin pusher machines. I've been playing the coin pushers a lot, and I collect like the cards from the coin pushers, so I have like a bunch of those. I have like the Bana Pass for all Bandai stuff, where you have like Long Gone Midnight, Initial D, 8 Infinity, and all that, which I also have Long Gone Midnight and Initial D, 8 Infinity on my computer as well. That was actually some of my earliest streams. If you go back at my original YouTube channel, some of my earliest streams were playing Long Gone Midnight and Initial D 8 Infinity with my sim racing setup. I don't know. I'm a huge arcade nerd. I love arcade games. I love going to the arcade. I have a bad habit of going to the arcade and walking home or coming home with like a million plushies. So we now have so many plushies because every single time I go to round one, I am not allowed to come home unless I have at least one plushie from a UFO catcher. And because of that, we now have enough plushies that they have exploded out of our bedroom and into our living room. So, I just have way too many plushies, almost all from round one. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a nerd for all of those. Yeah, the crane games. I love the crane games. I'm really good at them. I play them a ton. We also play on Terreba, which is a bad use of our money as well. So, yeah, because Terreba will eat all of your money if you're not careful. But we play on that as well too, which we really shouldn't, but we do. PTSD from the crane games. I mean, yeah, it'd be like that. Okay, I want this to be lined up like so. Okay, and then what we could do is we need to start building the actual like machine here. So I don't want to necessarily do it as an extra box. I think we can get away with doing it as all one single model here. So let's see here. We'll do E and then Y. So we're gonna extrude this out and then grab this face and we're going to extrude it wrong direction, this way. Okay, so let me get out of that view. So now we can start forming our actual machine here. So what I want to do is grab this, bring it up. Why is Blender pushing it all the way down there, damn it? Okay, so it's gonna be like so, and then we'll do some like proportional editing tricks and stuff to make it better shape. Actually, what we should do is let's delete this edge loop here. I want to delete this edge loop. Actually, it's not even letting me delete the edge loop. There we go. Delete edge loop. And then on this side, we want to delete this edge loop as well. So delete that one. I don't know why it ended up being all weird like that with the topology, but it should be good now. And I'm just going to actually just merge all these by distance. If there is any vertices that need to be removed, it'll remove the vertices. Looks like we're good there. Okay. With the nature of rhythm games, you need to call a mechanic to check out for at least 4 people. Check out for people at least 4 times before 12. Yeah. I don't even have that good skills at Blender. The thing is, like, my Blender skills really aren't that good, but Blender's not my first 3D tool that I've used. I used to make models for a game called Crake. It's really old, like me. But I used to make models for a game called Crake, as well as Half-Life, the original Half-Life, not Half-Life 2, but like OG Half-Life. And I made models for, like, not like officially in the game, but like I made skins. So I like made like custom models and skins for Half-Life, Crake, Counter-Strike, and all of that. So, um, that's how I learned. I learned 3D art as well as programming by making mods for Half-Life and making mods for Quake engine. And I also did a little bit of Unreal 2004 back then too. So a little bit of Unreal 2004, but that's how I learned programming and how I learned 3D art. So um, go way back. uh, but the 3D software, that we used back then was really archaic and horrible. Yo, what's good? How you doing, Nightwing Phoenix? Also, just realized I accidentally turned off the music. In fact, I still have. If I can bring it up here. Oh man, it's gonna be so old. Open a new window. Is it under apps? What window is this gonna be under? Is it under, which drive is it on, is the real question actually. What drive am I looking for? Dev? Nope. Games? Game dev? Game dev? 3D. Oh wow. Okay, yeah, this is gonna go way back. Engine path, return to Castle Wolfenstein. Fuck, I don't know where. I don't think I have any like of those old games installed. Shit. Fuck. Well, we'll see if it even opens. Maybe. I'm also looking for another. There's another program on here that should be in one of these folders, and I don't know where that folder went. Visual Studio. Wow. Okay. Okay. Look. Here's like a. Here's a small look at like my hard drive. Oh, here it is. This is exactly what I was looking for. I still have here. I have Visual Studio 2005. If I can get it to. Oh, it's not gonna make the text any bigger. I'm dumb. But I have here. I still have Visual Studio 2005 installed. So. I am like old. But anyways, Milkshake 3D is like the main way I learned. Yeah, sure. I know engine path's not found. Okay, I hate how we're in 2023, and when you have your your taskbar at the top, it still doesn't spawn windows underneath the taskbar, which is super annoying. But this here is GTK Radiant. It's one of the better tools for this specific application, and it's like kind of broken nowadays. But this was how you would make maps for Quake and Quake-based games and like Half-Life and stuff. You would basically, it's kind of like a CAD tool. Why is my stupid camera not facing the right way? It's been forever since I've used this. You'd have your shaders down here. You would draw boxes over here, kind of like a CAD format. And if you can get your view to actually like, you know, center up and have your camera show where it's supposed to be showing, a good night, you know, get some good sleep. There we go. If you can get your camera to show where it's actually supposed to be showing, if I can get it to, there we go. There we go. Now you can see here. You would drag out all your different boxes, and what I like to do with it is I like to actually split this view. So I'm trying to remember how to split the view up, but you can split the view to have different like front, left, front, top, whatever, you know. But yeah, this was one of the tools I used to use. It was how I learned how to do a lot of the 3D stuff, was by making maps for Quake Engine and other games way back in the day with these kind of tools. And I actually really miss how this had its setup where you had all your materials right here. Granted, it's saying no shader, or shader not found right now. Because there's no shaders, I don't have Quake installed at the moment. I probably do somewhere, but not like, I don't want to like try to find where it's located. But I liked how it had your material browser right here, and then you had like your thing, and being from back then, at least, having like this kind of CAD style view was really nice compared to like with Blender. You don't really have that whole little CAD style view. So there was that for how I like learned making maps. Oh, this is asking for, oh, that's not like installed. Oh, okay. Do I have it installed properly for Milkshake? I do. So, and then Uh, yeah, you're using it for the first time. Remember, the date is okay. Yeah, sure. I do use Notepad++. Actually, I have Notepad++ open in a window right over here somewhere. um, this was Milkshape 3D. This was the very first like proper 3D modeling tool I ever used. And you'll notice here, it has stuff in the menu that is specifically for Half-Life and Quake 3 Arena and Unreal Tournament 2004. And then it has like DirectX tools. It had all kinds of great tools for video games back then. It supported Maya, so you can use like Maya stuff, Autodesk, 3ds, Jedi Knight, like all kinds of like video game centered stuff. But this was the first tool I ever used for 3D, and I've basically only kept a copy of my installation out of nostalgia because it's completely useless nowadays. I would say it's completely useless nowadays, and like I don't know, you could still do cool stuff with it, sort of, but nowhere near as good as like Blender. But yeah, I mean, I use this tool for like a long time, but like trying to like doing rigging in this compared to Blender, rigging in Milkshape was absolutely horrible. I I hate rigging with the passion because of trying to rig character models with Milkshape 3D. It was one of the worst like experiences ever for actually like making character models. So you'd have like a joint here, and then you have like, you know, you would drag out your skeleton. This is a really shitty skeleton. It's obviously like not like what you want your skeleton to look like. It should actually be on the inside of your mesh, but for like demonstration, it's clearly not inside the mesh. And then you would like have to like select where you wanted, and then you go to like joints, and then you would go to like assign, but you want to make sure you're only selecting like the one joint that you need. Then you go like assign. It's gonna tell me the joints are assigned to vertices only. Yeah, I fucking trying to assign it to a vertice, damn it. There we go. So now the joint 1, wherever joint 1 is, should be assigned. But then you have to do the rate painting, and you have all these like smoothing groups and stuff. It was such a terrible experience. But back in the day when I was learning, it was all you had. You didn't have anything. I just made another fucking joint. I was trying not to make another joint. I was trying to select a joint, damn it. um, Back in the day, it was all we had for like stuff. I could have sworn, didn't I just assign these vertices to fucking joint 1? Is that not joint 1? That's probably not joint 1. Which of these is joint 1? I don't even know. But yeah, I hated learning 3D with this tool, but that's how I learned. So I just I apply everything I know from previous tools to Blender, and I'm still learning Blender itself, but I take a lot of that prior knowledge and apply that prior knowledge to it. Okay, we have speakers. We're gonna have like little speakers that go here, right? So let's go ahead and make our speakers real quick. I'm going to just use the knife tool and make sure we are getting it in the proper spot. So I want this to snap kind of to the center here, and then down the center there as well. So that way we can split these into 2 separate faces, and then we're going to do some insets on those to make our little speakers. You'll see here, it's kind of putting them together. We don't want that, so you actually want this set to individual, and then we can adjust our thickness or whatever. Probably like right about here, it might be good there. We can actually do here, let's do the golden ratio. I have an obsession with using Fibonacci sequence in a lot of my stuff. So if you see me hitting like doing like 618 or 382 or 762 or 191, numbers like that, it's because I just have an obsession with the Fibonacci sequence, and I use it for a lot of my stuff to do ratios and whatnot. But here, we can now inset these and make our little speakers out of it. And I kind of don't like how these are really big, so I'm thinking what I actually want to do is let's grab this face here and this face, and we can scale these. I said scale, not slide. I wanted to scale them. What are some good sources to learn Blender? I've been learning a lot off of YouTube. I don't have like a specific channel that I've been learning off of, but I've been watching like a lot of like YouTube shorts. I can, when I'm done streaming later tonight, I can DM me on Discord. DM me on Discord and remind me to send you the channels that I've been watching. Because I've been watching a lot of channels on YouTube. So if you DM me on Discord, that'll remind me to pull them up. Okay, why is it... No, I don't want... I mean, I kind of do like that effect there too, but that's not what I want right now. That's not what I'm trying to do, damn it. I just want to select that face, and there we go. That's kind of what I wanted. Kind of close, not quite, but kind of close. Yeah, thank you for reminders, because honestly, those reminders helped me a lot. Real quick, let's do this. Going to separate some of these out just a little bit. Let's select only these edges. I want to just delete these edges, dissolve edges. There we go. And then down here, I want to dissolve these edges here. And that should make it a lot more easier now for me to do what I was trying to do, which was to extend these out. Oh, again, not that much. For whatever reason, I think it's because I'm on an ultra-wide monitor. If I move like my thing too far, then it becomes like this weird like mess. Because my mouse will like jump to like the other monitor or to the other side of the monitor. I'm thinking like, I don't know, maybe like that wide for the speakers. I don't want the speakers to be too big, right? Like the speakers shouldn't be too big. So I think maybe right there is fine. And then here we can put in the like coin insert. So you have like coin A, coin B for your players. And then speakers here. Speakers are really easy to do. For speakers, we'll actually just use a new object for those. You made my chest bigger. How do you think it looks though? I completely redid that redeem. I redid that whole slider. I think it looks a lot better now than it used to, because before it just kind of scaled it up. Oh, it made it smaller. It made it smaller. Wait, was it made bigger earlier then? Did someone make it bigger earlier? I didn't even notice. Oh, you made it bigger at the beginning of the stream. Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, for speakers, what I'm probably gonna do there is we'll take another object here. We're gonna make a cylinder. And it doesn't need to be that small. It can be, I don't know, 0.5. We'll see. That might be a little bit too big. That's way too big. So we're gonna have to adjust these a little bit. So maybe 0.3. And I'm actually gonna make this 32 slices here. It's a little bit much, but it'll make sense in a bit. And then 0.1 for the depth. That's still a little bit much, but I want to... I somewhat expected this redeem to be timed and not permanent. I don't think I set any rules on it, did I? Oh, no. It's set for like a 5-minute timer. I mean, I can make it permanent. I could make it permanent. I just figured it'd be nice to like let you guys have the freedom of basically doing whatever you wanted with my body. Because I'm that sub I guess. I don't know. But when you're so submissive, you let chat control your body fully. I should be careful with those ideas. I really should be careful with those ideas, because knowing you guys. Okay. Let's select that. Why is... No, I want... Alt A. Why is that getting... No. Fucking... Don't select shit. Why did the... individual origins. There we go. I don't know why I was doing that. That controls my body. Great video idea. I mean, it would be though, and technically, I know how to do it to where I can make a redeem that will literally let you guys like control the actual rotation of the bones by like 15 degrees at a time. If we really wanted to do it, we so could. Probably not a good idea, but it's doable. It is 100% doable. So for the speakers, we're gonna do them the same way that we did the speakers for the other other stuff. So what I'm gonna do for the speakers here is we're going to use the bevel tool. So we're gonna go into our edit mode. Select only this back face, and we're going to bevel this out. Kind of like so. And I'll probably end up deleting this interface here. We'll see about that or not, but I'm thinking we might delete that interface. Or we probably won't. I think we have a use for the interface. We'll see. But what I'm going to do is take this. Let's rotate it to match the end over here. And also we're gonna need to figure out our scaling. I feel like this is probably too big of a speaker. Yeah, this is probably too big of a speaker. And I'm also gonna go and select this, go into tab. I'm gonna select this face here. I'm actually gonna select these two. I want those faces and I want this face. I'm gonna hit H and hide those. So that way we can see inside here what we're doing. So if I click over here and go to... Oh, it's not going to do that for me, huh? Ah, okay. I'm gonna have to select both of these, I think, and then hit tab. Yeah, if I select both of those and then hit tab, that'll work. No, I don't want to do that. I want only this one here. No, damn it. Control L. There we go. And then by normal. So we can rotate this and just make sure that we're getting it where it needs to be. Make sure you're rotating the correct axes too when you're doing your rotations on here. Like, well, no, right there's probably fine, and then obviously we're gonna want to make sure that it's kind of centered up. And then what I'm thinking though, I really am thinking this is maybe too big, but we'll see. There's other ways too to do this. There's probably like better way of doing this, but what I was thinking of doing for it is doing a boolean operation. So what I'd be doing is I'd be coming here and I'd be going to bool. So we can do a boolean modifier. And then we're going to select that little like speaker dish. Let's select, there we go. So we're gonna select the little cylinder, which is a speaker dish. And then, why did it make the whole thing invisible? Shouldn't it be making the whole damn thing invisible? Hold up. That's not the part that should be becoming invisible. Oh, okay, I see. I see what happened there. So now, if I actually take this, and where did it fucking put? Where did it put the cylinder? Why is the cylinder in there? It should be over here. There we go. Oh, the spawn duck thing doesn't So the spawn duck is for something else. Um, I I may have bought in a game called Placid Duck Simulator. It's gonna open up right now, and normally Placid Duck Simulator, the way it works is that every like minute it spawns a new duck in. However, I have modified the game, so it is now modified. I do not get any Steam achievements for it. I'll have to fix it. I'll have to see why it's not working and try to fix it. Okay, so this is Placid Duck Simulator. And normally with Placid Duck Simulator, you have this little counter up here, and it takes like a minute to fill up, and every time it fills up, it spawns a new duck. But now, through the power of modding and cheating, you can now spawn a duck, and it should be dropping the duck in. Keyword should be. Oh, you know why it's not dropping the duck in? Because I don't have Sammy running. I need Sammy. That's Sammy. Why is the Windows thing so shit for like Windows start menu to try to like do stuff? I have modified a lot of games. For a long time, my following was built solely upon modding games. I wrote a lot of like really cool tools to modify games and stuff, and I even got into legal trouble at one point for it. Where is... Oh, is Sammy not like installed like properly? It's probably in my desktop folder, I bet. That's probably where I'm gonna find it. My desktop folder is a total mess right now, so just bear with me. Yep, here's Sammy. Change game files, and well, we didn't even have to do that. So the way that the mod works is it uses DLL injection. So basically, I have a DLL injector, and then it injects the game with a new DLL to load code. It's something that will get you banned in like Counter-Strike and stuff, because you have what's called VAC, Valve Anti-Cheat, or like other anti-cheats. Not every game you can and should be doing stuff like that in. But here's Sammy. It should be loading now, should be working now. So it says hotkeys are disabled while editing a deck, but it should be fine. So now that this is running, and it should be connected to Twitch. I believe it's connected to Twitch, yeah. Now, if we spawn a duck... Oh, right. I think try spawning the duck now, because I think you have to... I have to be clicked on the game window for it to work. So if someone spawns in a duck now, it should spawn in duck. There we go. Now it's spawning in ducks. And I'm supposed to have a little counter up at the top of the screen to count how many ducks chat has spawned themselves, but that counter is currently disabled. If I turn it on, though, there is an actual like counter that will count how many ducks chat has spawned versus how many ducks the game itself has spawned. And if you spam it, you could technically spawn like a million fucking ducks all at once. So yeah, it's really like boring kind of thing, but I kind of did it as a joke because do I have it on Naruto editor? Do I have the rubber ducky on here? I don't have the rubber ducky on here, and that's probably for the best. It's probably for the best I don't have the rubber ducky in this folder for Naruto. But we do have a rubber duck VTuber model that I made. It's absolutely horrific, but I don't know. I keep doing all these like stupid, dumb, but fun models because I like making them. Where is Rubber Ducky actually? What did I name the duck as? I probably like named it something stupid. Other OCs. Duck.vrm. Here we go. I said copy and paste, damn it. There we go. Rubber duck. Oh shit! I'm way too big now. Oops. This came out way too big. Hold up. Scale 0.5. There we go. No, still a little bit too big. 0.3. Yeah. I figured we could one day do just like a just chatting stream where we only did like Placid Duck Simulator, and I would use this rubber duck model that I rigged up. It only has a one blend shape for the eyes, so I don't have multiple expressions for it because I was lazy. But yeah, I tried to. You can't really see it that well, but I tried to model it in a way that it would bend realistically. I think it looks a little bit better in actually VC face. It looks better than it does in Naruto, to be honest. But that's just a matter of like adjusting the settings for the outline and whatnot. Yeah, we have rubber duck model. Because why not? Why not have rubber duck model? I guess. Yeah. Let's go back to my proper model. Here's the old model. Here's old me. This is old me. If I can set my scale back. This is my old design, which is based on my actual IRL self. This is based on IRL me. So this is old me, based on myself IRL. And I don't know. I stopped using this model because I don't know. I just felt a little bit cuter in the smaller model. I still have plans for this model. I still have plans for using it. I just don't know like what I'm gonna use it for, but I still have plans for it. We have so many different versions of Emily. Oh man, so many different versions. Should be this one. Wait, no, wait, is that the right one? I think this is the right one. Should be. Should be the right one. We'll figure it out later. Okay, but anyways, I'm gonna turn off Plastic Duck Simulator and we can get back to Blender. Oh, goodbye. Oh, I did not say full screen. I said goodbye. There we go. Exit. Exit game. No, I don't want to save. Just fucking exit the game already, damn it. There we go. Anyways. So yeah, if we do this here, you see here, we have this nice little dish in here now for it. Yes, I am still alive. Yes. Yeah, so I was thinking we can do it kind of like the same way that we did it for the other speakers that we did that were animated. But I do also want to have an outline around here as well. So maybe if we do that, we have to do like a little outline. Or technically we could just have this thing in here, right? We have this thing. And let's say we just go to tab and we'll select this face here, just like that face, and we'll delete the face. And then that gives us a little bit nicer of a thing. I want this to be kind of more of like a hard edge bevel though. So I think if we were to use this here, we'd probably not select the face, we want to select only the edge. Select that edge loop, and then we can bevel it in. I don't know, maybe... Actually, I don't think bevel's what I'm wanting to do with it. I think it's extruding, maybe? Nope, not extruding. Actually, with the extruding, you can set it from normals. And then go from, woo, don't go there. I'm trying to think like the best way of getting it to look the way I want it to for this specific thing. I guess maybe that works. And then we can flatten it out if we want. So we can flatten that out now. Yeah, maybe not flatten it out that much, but like... Actually, we could do that. That could maybe work, actually, because what we could do then is do a ring loop right here. And then bring the ring loop out and create a bevel that way. That way we can then inset this in a little bit more. So we can grab that here. Inset it in just a little bit more. Like that. And then what we do is we do that little LED light idea. That whole like little LED light here. But I kind of don't like that idea either, because what I was actually thinking of doing is I was thinking of just having this be flat, right? I was thinking of I guess, no, flattening it out and then doing like a neon light around it. So what we could do is we could make a circle. If I go over here, I go into edit mode. Oh, I have to apply the modifier first, I think, for me to do what I want. Or do I? Hold up. Mesh. I want to go to mesh. I'm gonna go circle. I don't know where the circle's at. It's somewhere. Here it is. And we want to set our rotation on the circle to as close as we can get it to it. So we're gonna have to scale this thing down. But I was thinking of doing like a neon light right there, in particular. So neon lights are easy to do because I have a nifty little plugin that I use for neon lights specifically. So if I just line it up as best as we can line it up, I'm gonna rotate it and make sure we're rotating only on the one axis here. Actually, what I should do is I should copy... Here, let's do this. Copy this. So it should be, I think, Control A. No, it's not Control A. Not Control A. Fuck, what was the button? Control C? Okay, Control C. Copy. I want to copy all transforms. I guess I can't copy all transforms, but I can copy location, I can copy rotation, I can copy scale. For whatever reason, it's not letting me copy the whole transform, but whatever on that. What I want though is I want the rotation. Oh wait, I see what it did. Duh, okay. Did we accidentally delete our circle? No, we didn't. Okay, our circle's here. So select, we're gonna select this thing here first, then select the circle, then Control C, and then if we do copy rotation, it should copy the rotation of that to our circle. And then we can also do the same thing, Control C again, and why did it scale that down? Oh, because we didn't apply the scale. That's probably it too. Why did it copy the modifiers? See, this is part of the fun of 3D stuff, is sometimes shit just ends up being weird. Like, where's this extra cube coming from? Oh, that's the extra cube. Oof. Okay, Control Z. Fine. Fine. There we go. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually hide this cube real quick. So let's hide the cube, and then let's just try to get these lined up as best we can. I'm going to make sure that our like transforms are all applied. So just go ahead and select it and hit Control A, and then after that you should be able to select your circle, and then go to Control C and copy the scale. I think it actually copies in reverse. Thinking about it, yeah, I think that's copying in reverse. So what I want to do is select the circle first. Select the circle, then that, and then Control C. I hit the wrong button. And Control Scale. Yeah, so because the scale is like different for it, it ends up being like way too big. But as long as we get like the rotation, which we did, we have a rotation now. That's really all that matters. So we can make sure, if I can get back here, make sure that this is sized where we want it. And then make sure it's like aligned right there. So also real quick, just to be safe, it's been a while since we saved, so I'm going to just hit Control S and then we'll save this as DDR cabinet .blend. We need to make sure that we're saving routinely because we have a bad habit of not saving when we're doing this, and then we end up like crashing later because of a bunch of plugins that I use. But anyways, I have this plugin called Make Neoner, and if I can find it, oh, here it is. It's called Neoner, and you click Make Neon, and it'll ask you like what kind of neon do you want, volume or flat. I think we could set it to volume. That should be fine, or maybe flat would be fine. And then you have some base parameters here that you can adjust, and it should, if it works, it will turn what you have selected into a neon mesh. It didn't really work there for whatever reason. I said make neon. There we go. So I was thinking of doing this here, and then obviously we'd have to adjust like our tail length. I think we can get away with the tail length of 0 for that. And the height might need to be adjusted a little bit. Or there we go. We just set it as like that. Okay, so that's going to give us a nice little neon light. And if we bring our cube here back, we are way too bright now. But I was thinking of doing something like that, so that way we'd have these nice little neon rings around the speakers. A little bit nicer than doing it the way that I did before, where we had like manually done all of that by hand. This is a much nicer way of doing that compared to the previous method that I did before for it. So it's kind of like just a thought that I was thinking maybe of putting these. It is way too bright right now, so to fix the brightness, we need to go over here to EV. We can turn bloom off or just reduce the threshold and intensity of the bloom. So maybe, I don't know, about right there. And also, Eevee has problems with shadows, so I usually just turn shadows off on Eevee, or maybe not off all the way, but I tried to like turn off the soft shadows. I remember how to like completely turn shadows off entirely, because there actually is a way to turn shadows off 100%. I remember how to do that. I don't remember how to do that. Huh. Around here somewhere. Yeah, I don't remember, but it's like part of the render settings for it. You should be able to turn off the shadows entirely. Yeah, basically a shiny ball, but I don't know. It's just something I was thinking was like possibly doing that, where we'd have the neon rings around the speakers. I guess another way you could technically do this, if we didn't want to use like the neon, right? If we didn't want to use this method, we could actually just do a torus, probably. And that'll probably work just as well, in all honesty. Just using the torus mesh. Because a torus is basically a ring. So we could actually have just used one of these and then made this nice and shiny. I kind of like screwed up here though, because we don't have all of our settings available to us, because we had already kind of like removed it. So that is another like, that's something to keep in mind when you're editing a blender. If you add in a shape that has parameters, if you move it or rotate it, you'll lose those parameters that you're bringing in. So if you want to bring in that torus, if I go to mesh and I go to torus, if you want to adjust these settings, you have to do it here first. So here is where you would increase or decrease the inner radius. You have a minor radius and you have an inner radius. You would increase and decrease those here. It's kind of lagging on my computer for whatever reason right now. Not sure why it's lagging, but it stops lagging just a little bit. But that would increase your thickness here. And you might go like 0.5 here. And actually you can go 1. So you could just technically do something like this, and then also just throw this over in there. But I like the Neoner tool, because with the Neoner tool, you have all kinds of really cool stuff you can do with it. So like, let's say we get rid of this torus, okay? We're gonna delete the torus, bring our circle back in. And with the Neoner tool, if you click on your circle here, and then you go over to your neon settings, you can adjust things like there's our wall behind it. You have holders you can adjust. I might need to actually come over here, and it's going to be on one of these things here somewhere. Fine art modifier. Trying to remember where it's at. Somewhere. Custom properties was under custom properties maybe. Nope. Geometry. Because the way this thing works is, I believe it's using the what's it called? Not shape keys, texture, no, geometry nodes, I think is how the plugin works. I could be wrong. I don't know where the like extra settings went for it. But yeah, if you have this, then you can do all kinds of extra neat little things with it. Yeah, I'm trying to remember, how do I actually like get to the settings for this thing? I don't remember. I don't know. But anyways, you get all kinds of like extra settings that you can make use of when you use like that plugin, for example. But this is, again, it's way too bright, so I'm going to turn bloom off altogether for now. So we'll come over here and we'll turn bloom off. That should be... Where'd it go? Here it is. And now we're no longer blinding bright anymore. So I don't know, that was kind of like an idea, a thought of possibly something we could do is adding these neon lights here around that. We'd have to do it for each speaker. I think there should be 4 speakers total, and then we'll add like our screen and all that on top of here. Really cool plugin, though. Really cool plugin. And then we can bring, what is it, cylinder? Yeah, here's our cylinder. So here's our actual like speaker that we're working with. And you'll see right now it is kind of like got this weird looking thing going on. That's just because of the operator and where it's like placed in relation to that operator. If I bring it out, I don't know, the further I bring it out, the less it's a problem. And that's just because of that Boolean operator. Because again, if I hide it, then you can see here, like it cuts it out, right? So why, I'm trying to remember how to, oh, and you can even see here, you can see the cut that it's making and what it's doing. So this might not be the cut that we want for it. So if we select it, select our cylinder, we can adjust this and see where that cut is coming in at. And look, this looks a lot better now for that cut. Or we just straight up use a speaker. I mean, we could just do that too. We could just straight up use the cylinder here and not even have to worry about that either. And then what we would do is we would basically copy what we did with the other stuff, where we had come here and go to tab. It's not going to go to tab because it's being lame. But you would go to tab and you would inset it. So you would inset all the like diaphragm and everything. So you'd have your speaker and you would select like this interface, and then you would do I and you would inset it. Probably do one inset here, do another inset much further in. I don't know, maybe we can go probably there, and then another one, maybe not that wide, but let's do another one. Come on. So something also to take note of is when you're trying to do stuff like the insetting faces, if your camera is too close, it'll get all screwed up. So you want to make sure you kind of zoom out a little bit when you're doing that. But now we can select all of that. Oops. Wrong button, did not mean to hit playback. So we can grab these. And then just make sure that you're getting it like oriented properly. I don't think I oriented it properly this time around, but you'd bring like your diaphragm out, and then we can do like neon light around it. And then if we animate it, we can animate this to where the diaphragm's going in and out like we did with those other speakers. But yeah, not sure how much detail we want to do for that tonight. And then yeah, that would look, like I said, that would look good if we put the neon light in front of that. I think that'll look good. Actually, even just having the neon light like directly against it, I think looks kind of good, to be honest. What I would do is I would grab this neon light here, and I want to set the origin to the center mass. And I'd probably just adjust the position ever so slightly to where it looks like it's lining up a little bit better. Yeah, we can do this as the speakers for it, and that'll look pretty nice. So for making that our speakers, let's make sure these are all in the same collection. It kind of bugs me when stuff gets put onto the wrong collection, but we'd make sure it's all in the same collection, and then we can select the speaker on the inside, and then we can do an array modifier for these. So we can do an array, and then you would adjust where that's going. Maybe it goes right over here. And I personally, I like to use actually the constant offset instead of relative offset. I feel like the constant offset just works better. So we would say maybe it's 2 meters apart. 2 meters is a little bit too much. You go 1.5 meters. That's a little bit too little. So maybe 1.75 meters. Getting a little bit better. So maybe 1.8 is going to be closer to what we want. That looks probably good there. And then you would do another one of these arrays. So we duplicate the array, but this time, instead of having it be on the x-axis, you would do it on the y-axis. So you go like so, and I believe you can also technically rescale objects this way. You can scale them in and out here. I don't remember the best way to do that, but you could scale them in place. So yeah, and then that would automatically put all these here. You would have to do the same exact steps for the outer ring, obviously, because it's not going to completely transfer all of that at once. You have to do them 2 separate times, but you could copy and paste the modifiers over, which doesn't make it a pain in the ass at all. So if I wanted to do that, I would just go copy to selected, and you might end up with it being a little bit off, but that's fine. I'll just do that again. And then all we gotta do is just come over here and make some adjustments to where this is going. So that's the wrong one. I want this object selected. Now, it might end up with some like positioning issues. I think this, for whatever reason, it's using its own like local space when it shouldn't be. So you might be better off just mimicking it where it is over there. So that could be an issue too to think about. I don't know why it's getting all like forked over there. See, this is set to XYZ, and I think it should actually be ZYX for it. Oh, these are all both XYZ. I'm trying to remember then what the problem is then. Or it could just be that we need to apply all of our transforms. That could be it too. So if we apply the transforms and then grab our speaker. I said the speaker. No, not the cube, the speaker. There we go. And then select that. Actually, it's the other way around. It's really annoying sometimes how it's the other way around. You select your target first and then your source. It's really stupid how it works that way. But yeah, so select your target, then your source. Make sure you're getting it properly. And then you can do copy to selected here, copy to selected on this one again. And it's doing that same thing again. So it's not putting it where it needs to go, even though that it technically is like it's in the correct spot in the original one. I don't know why it is getting all borked for this other one, but you would just have to play around with it. That's the wrong object to be moving. Okay, deselect all of that. I want only this thing selected. Or you, like I said, you just do it by hand. Array tool. And just align it however it needs to be aligned. Do like a little deep look in there. I said constant offset to me, I feel just a little bit nicer than having a non-constant offset. But it's all up to you, because you just do that. And then again, you just do the same thing. You just duplicate it, but instead of going on the X, you would go on the Y no, it's going to be on the Z because this mesh is just being weird. And it looks like I'll probably also have to do that on the Y-axis. There we go. And then up. I said up, not down. And now we have those neon rings and our speakers. Obviously, we need to finally tweak it, but that's one way of doing that, if we wanted to do it that way. There's other ways too, but that's just one example using the Make Neon button, which, like I said, that Make Neon button is really cool. The amount of stuff you can do with the Make Neon button, always impressive to me. So I'm always enjoying all the cool, like, stuff some of these plugins do, because like what I like about that plugin, for example, right, is if I were to go to add and then I go like text, for example, I go add text and we'll go we'll say that the text is DDR, so we'll hit enter, or not enter, we'll enter edit mode, so we'll say the text is DDR. Now, for whatever reason, we have a second thing of text. I'm just going to delete the second one. I don't need both of them, just need the one. And then you would grab it, and then you would go to your Make Neon button. And it's going to make this gigantic thing for whatever reason. Why is it making a gigantic thing? The stupid thing better not be broken. Select. Make neon. It's probably that width value, maybe. I am not sure. It is like gigantifying the text for whatever reason. Yeah, and you do have like, you know, bloom radius and bloom intensity here. But I don't know why it is all Bork for the mesh there. Um, huh. Oh, wait. Maybe that was it? I don't know. There we go. Nope, it is still being all like dumb for whatever reason. I don't know why the make neon button's being dumb, but it's like I said, it's a plugin that I've been enjoying using. I think it's a really good plugin. It does some really neat things when it works. Keyword is when it works. If the plugin is obviously being dumb, then it's not going to be ideal. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's probably the direction I want to go with for the lighting on here with those speakers. And we can just delete the text. Get rid of the text altogether. There we go. Alright, so let's actually add other stuff on here. We need our coin or card select. So we'll go ahead and add a coin or card button. And actually too, what I want to do is let's grab this edge here. We're gonna bring this edge up just a smidge. And we're going to add probably some, actually before we bring that up, actually, let's do this first. Set this to the middle and then cut it. Grab this side here, and then we're going to extrude this up. There we go. And then grab this edge, and then we can just grab the edge itself, drag the edge up. Also, let's make sure that nothing is hidden. So I did hide some stuff earlier, and we want to make sure that we unhide it. So I don't remember what the hotkey was to unhide it. We're just gonna have to go through the like render button or whatever and unhide it that way. Because I don't remember what the hotkey was to unhide stuff and where it is located at over here. But somewhere around here it is hidden. You can always hit F3 too, and you can do this here. So here we go. Now it's back to being revealed. So what we do here is we put some buttons here. So we put we can put a you know, left button, right button, and a little like start button in the middle. We'll do like player 1, player 2 buttons. So let's get started on those buttons. We're gonna do those as separate meshes again. We're gonna merge them all in the end. So in the end, they're all gonna become one single mesh. What we could do here is do just do a cube. We're gonna have this big old gigantic cube. It's fine. 0.01. Make it tiny. Okay, and then make sure you can actually see the cube. It's a little bit too small right now, so we're gonna just scale it up a little bit. And I probably should have paid attention to like the actual angle size here. Clearly, we didn't pay attention to our angle, but that's whatever. Bring this out and then bring it down. No, I said bring it down. No. And snap it into place. Oh. Okay, why is it being such a bitch? There you go. So I'm just going to grab this, and we'll start placing where it needs to go to be our enter button. So you're gonna have an enter key, and then you'll have left and right for like your song selection. I think usually too with DDR, you can also usually use your feet to select a song and stuff, but not every machine is gonna have that. So that's what we're gonna do now, is make those little buttons there. So I'm going to get rid of that there. And see here, is there any modifiers we can make use of to project it onto here? There's collision, data transfer. I don't want to use data transfer. I don't want to do remesh or anything like that. I don't want to do warp. Surface deform, nope. Casting, maybe it's the cast modifier. That's not going to be it either. I'm trying to remember what modifier it is, but there is actually a modifier that will snap it to the shape that it is. And let's turn that bloom off again. That bloom is gonna annoy the fuck out of me. There we go. So anyways, though, just want to find our angle down here. Press R, and then find whatever angle is kind of close to it. Doesn't need to be completely exact, but as long as we get kind of close to it, we should be fine. You can see here, this is probably about where I want the button to be, but it's not like lined up. So that's actually a problem. Looking at it, that's actually not the fault of that incline. Actually, what happened there is these vertices ended up at a higher spot than these vertices, like overall. Why is my stupid camera moving so damn fast? Sometimes the camera in Blender is like the most annoying shit ever. Why is work emailing me? Speaking of work, I actually will probably cut this stream a little bit short soon. Because I have to get up early in the morning for work. They messaged me after hours and they were like, hey, we need you to be on like standby in the morning because we might need you to come into a meeting with the CEO to explain some stuff. And I'm like, I don't want anything to do with that, but I guess. I guess I can be on standby, but I really would like to just be asleep. But yeah, work was messaging me, asking me if I can be free for stuff, I guess. Okay, so I'll make the button about yay big. This can be the first button here, and we'll position it kind of like middle of the speaker if we can. So that's the first button. Now we need to do the next button. So I'm just going to Control C and then Control V, and then we will grab our duplicate, bring it here, and then I want to go into edit mode. And we're going to just deselect stuff, select this face here. Actually, let's go to vertices selection. I'm going to select these vertices here. And then merge by distance. And then same thing for this one here, down here. I'll just merge. Actually, what we should have done is not by distance. Not distance we want to do. Select both of these, hit M, do merge at center. And then same down here, hit M and then merge at center. And now we can grab this and bring it down. And now we have our left button, our left input button. And what we could do is, to make this a little bit easier, first off, make sure you're setting the origin to the center of the mass. There we go. I think if you just use only the what's it called, the mirror, this mirror modifier. I believe you can set an offset here. Maybe not actually. No, that's gonna be for UV coordinates. But that'll work for you there, because what that'll do is that'll flip it, and then I guess from there you would use your array modifier and set the array modifier to a count of 1. And I think it actually needs to be above. The array modifier should be first. There we go. And then maybe not that far of an offset. Maybe you want just like a much smaller offset, like 0.02. Okay, why is it not? Why does it jump so damn far for like no fucking reason? Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna just use the modifiers for it because the modifiers are nice and easy, but I would probably just do it the other way then. So I mean, obviously you would just do the same thing, basically just Control C, Control V. Bring it out however you need. So like, I don't know, right over here. And then you can just do a rotation. Okay, not like that. Object, and then transform. And I think there was like a quick flip. I thought there was a quick flip button at least. I could be wrong. Asset, unless it's in the edit mode. So transform, rotate. I don't want to rotate and stuff. I just want to flip it the other direction, to be honest. That's all I really want to do is just flip it the other direction. Rather than having to deal with all the other crap. Oh, here we go. There we go. And then obviously, you know, we'd have to like figure out the distance that we want these to be from each other. But now you'd have your left song, right song, and then your select in the middle. Then we can mirror that onto the other side, and then we can do little card reader here, card reader there, and then obviously we'll have like our big ol' screen here. But I am having trouble actually staying awake, so I'm going to call it here for tonight, and we will finish working on this model tomorrow. But I'm more awake. I will probably be a lot more caffeinated tomorrow, so we'll finish working on this tomorrow. I'm gonna try to get some sleep before my meeting, so hopefully I'm not like too tired. Luckily at this company, at the company I'm at right now, I have not fallen asleep on a meeting directly. Whereas I've in the past at other companies I have fallen asleep mid-meeting. At least here I haven't fallen asleep mid-meeting yet. But yeah, we're gonna call it here for tonight. We'll finish this up tomorrow and work on more of this. I'm gonna attempt to sleep is what I'm gonna do. Why is it still showing the wireframe when I thought I had turned the oh, no, I didn't turn the wireframe off. I'm dumb. I am so fucking dumb sometimes. Okay, anyways though, yeah, that's gonna be it. Let me see if there's anyone I know online right now. Yeah, no one I know is online, so here's what we'll do. Yeah, I'm just gonna call it a night. Alright, I will see you all tomorrow. We'll finish this up, and make more of this later. Good night, everyone. Get some good sleep when you do, and have a wonderful night.